Welcome to the Trading Day Series 3. And today is actually a good lesson for you guys because we are not as up as we were yesterday. Yesterday we were up $1,300 and right now we are at 611. And now I'm going to run through what's going on, what's going to be my analysis, what are my next moves. What do you do in these situations? I also placed in another trade. This one's an actual Forex trade, the New Zealand dollar, the New Zealand dollar and the Canadian dollar. And right now that is negative. And remember, we added a new family member to the S&P 500. Right now that's negative. But if you remember in the previous video, I said I expect it may go down. So it's doing what I'm expecting to do. Let's see if it ends up bouncing back up. Let's run through my analysis. All right. So this is Citibank right here. And we can see it's already starting to trend down, which I'm not surprised because whenever you're making your trades, man, and it's starting to pump up and it's in uptrends, remember, we're looking at this in a large time frame. There's going to be ups. There's going to be downs. There's going to be ups. There's going to be downs. And so you have to expect for it to, you got your hoorah. You're like, man, we making money. And then it's going to be them times where it's down, especially when you're a swing trader like me. This is just common. You know what I'm saying? So really, I'm not nervous at all. But let's run through my analysis. So this is Citibank, and we can see it hit a level where there's going to be some resistance. And not only that, look at the RSI. It says that it is overbought, and it's been overbought a couple of times. It hit right here. You see a little circle right here. And where are we at on it? Around there? Boom. You see that? Spiked up a little, came back down. And then it did it again. So that was predicted that it was going to go down. And let's go to the New Zealand dollar and the Canadian dollar. Let's go in on why I put in on this one. It's already in. Now, to be honest, I really don't mess with the New Zealand too often. It's so rare that I go into it, but it was. Let me show you why I did it. Let me show you why I did it. Okay. So you see how it was trending down, low, high, low, higher low, low, higher low. Lower high. I'm saying it wrong. Lower high. And then it's going low, and then it ends up coming back up. This low is not as low as this one. And then it ends up coming back up. This low is not as low as this one. And now that is called a change of structure, which is an indication of a possible reversal. And then not only that, when we just look at it like this, I'll throw in a ray, even though it's not too straight, but I'll do it anyway. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. So, but if we can see, it's going up, and then eventually it passes the typical high, the lower highs that it was doing. So now that is called a break of structure. Another great indication of a possible reversal. When I saw that, I said, okay, it's now starting to go up. And then I wanted to try to find a trend if I could. And I made this one right here, a 4-hour. I did it on the 4-hour. Whenever I make my trends, whatever color that I make it, whatever the line is, that lets me know what time frame that I was looking on. And yellow for me means the 4-hour. And so I had looked at it on the 4-hour. I made this little trend right here, and I see that it typically respects this line. And at the time I saw it, it had already bounced. Right. I'm going to get a little bit closer because I realize when I make my videos, it looks big to me, but when I end up making the video, I realize it's not as large for you guys. So it ended up hitting it a third time, and at the time that I saw it, it was up here, which is why my entry is up here. And so I said, okay, it seems like it's respecting this. There's a change of structure, there's a break of structure, and then it already started to make a trend. So I said, it hit it once, it hit it twice. This is the third time. So I said, okay, this seems like a decent trade, even though I typically do not like the New Zealand dollar and working with the New Zealand. I said, okay, I'm gonna still give it a shot anyway. So I gave it a shot. Right now, we're in the sweat zone. We sweating right now. We negative. How negative is it? 118. So we're gonna see if it ends up bouncing back up. So this is another lesson, guys. Just because you make your analysis and everything is looking like it's going to go your way, it doesn't mean that it will. And sometimes you just gotta just take that loss. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that your strategy is bad. It just means it just didn't work this time. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's possible that that may happen with this trade. And I'm okay with that. Why? We're up 600. Now I know some of you may be saying, man, you was just up 13. That's fine, man. That's fine. I'm cool with it. Now, because this is also an account that I'm just showing live, I may not do exactly everything that I would do on my personal account. Now, some of these trades I might actually close just to grow the account, because also my purpose in doing this is to show you how to manage a small account and just let it grow. Just let it grow. You know what I mean? And then money management tips too. So now let's go to the SP 500. So if you watched day 2, I had said I am expecting it to drop. I said this around the time I placed this, and I was giving my brief synopsis on what my analysis is on what it may do. I said that it might drop, and that's exactly what it's doing. But I don't expect it to drop too far. So it may have dropped, but I am expecting a reversal. So I'm going to trust my decision, trust my analysis, and let it play out. And we're going to see if I'm correct or not. That's what you must do whenever you make your analysis. Don't get worried. Don't sweat. You're going to be all right. Now let's look at Chase Bank. Let's see how it's doing. Okay, so right now we can see there is a little reversal candle. So we might go through a little negative state for a little bit. Let's check it. Oh, okay, you see that on the 1 hour? It hit a level on the 1 hour time frame. So we might go through a little negative state for a little bit. And one other thing that I want you to notice is this red line right here. This is my stop loss. So whenever you're in profit, move your stop losses, adjust them. Don't keep your stop losses in the negative, because a lot of you, if you're not a beginner trader or you may be intermediate, there's many times where your trade was positive, but you held for too long and you didn't manage your trade, and now it ended up closing out negative. But now I have my stop loss in a positive zone. So if it ends up coming back down, I'm still going to lock in something. I'm not losing out on this trade. Like, I'm going to get something from you. Like, you moved up to $328. I'm going to get something. I'm leaving with something. So that's how that's going to go. And to be honest, I might actually like close out on some of these trades. If I do, then you'll see it on the next day video as I'm managing them throughout the day. Because like I say, on this account, the whole point of it is just to grow and to show you how you manage, what to do when you're going negative, what to do when you expect a possible reversal, and different thoughts that may go through your mind. So I'm actually glad that it actually went down, so I can show you how I process and how I go through it. Now let's go to Citibank. Did I already do Citibank? Yeah, I did do Citibank. Okay. Let's do Netflix. Okay. So we see on Netflix on the 1 hour time frame. Look at that. RSI oversold. I mean overbought. And boom. But we got levels though. You see, this is a level right here. So it's very likely it might bounce on that and continue upward. So we're going to go ahead and mark this level. Blue is my 1 hour indicator. So since we're on the 1 hour chart, we're on blue, and we see that this is a price level that it normally respects. And then we can also see on the 50 is right on that. So we're going to see if it ends up bouncing on that. If it bounces on this, then we're good. And also on this, I need to adjust this one right here. I need to adjust my stop loss. Confirm. All right. So now if it go anywhere past this and it touch that, we gonna lock out. We like I say, we walking out with something. We ain't losing. We ain't losing. So that's how you manage. That's how you manage. This is how you trust yourself. This is how you analyze and really see what's going on and what is a proper decision on what to do. So that's what's going on right now. Like I say, we're not as high as we were on the second day, 1300, but right now we are floating between 600 and 680. That's my analysis for the day. That's day 3, guys. Extra tip that I forgot to say. If you end up closing out your trade and it's profitable, one of my methods that I use, one of my money management methods is I take 30% of all profits. And I will do that on this practice account to show you guys, like I said, how you can do things. Because I'm acting as if this is like my side hustle. I'm trying to build it up. So whenever I close out trades, I will be taking 30% and showing you how you can still grow your account. Because if you make 300 on a trade, take 100 of that. Like, you've been working, you've been applying your methods, you've been doing all this stuff. Don't be going through all that stress for no reason. Work and pay yourself. Even if the account, even if you close out negative for the week, you had $1,000 in there and you're down $800. If you had trades that closed out positive, take 30%. So that way, even though you had a negative week, you're still walking out with something.